Welcome, Conquerors. This is the first ever episode of No Flips, Just Mics, like this one standing right here. Conquest Wrestling podcast that aims to keep you up to date with all the latest in the wrestling world, wherever that may be, and hopefully keep you entertained with our shenanigans along the way. I'm Rhys Baldwin, aka Jester Hoorah, alongside Eric Hart, Blazing Hart himself.
Do the hustle!
Do the hustle. Do the hustle like a sissy girl. I mixed that in with one of my favourite Anchorman quotes. Yeah, Anchorman.
It is Anchorman. You're
No,
correct.
no,
It is Anchorman.
no. It's Bruce Almighty.
Oh,
Where Jim Carrey makes Steve Carell.
Steve Carell in both movies, so it's probably why,
Yeah, and they're both, news anchor.
yeah, exactly.
Movies.
It's easy
So-
to get around.
Well, that happened. So, basically, yeah, this is happening. It's just the two of us this week. We may have others join us along the way. This is hopefully going to be each and every Thursday. We're going to try and stick to that deadline as best as possible, but anything can happen. The light could fall over, and we'd still keep going. Dog can bark outside, and we'd still keep going, because that's just the way we want to run things around here. Topic 1. Brock Lesnar. The Beast Incarnate. What is going on with Brock?
At the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view, which, yeah, it's very inventive name right there.
Was it Great Balls of Fire?
It's called Great Balls of Fire.
I wanted to say Great Balls of Fury.
No, it is.
But that's the movie, isn't it?
If they don't
Balls of
use,
Fury.
the song as the theme song, then if they don't use Great Balls of Fire as the theme song, then I don't know why they bother.
Oh yeah, that'd be a huge
Unless they do like a
missed opportunity.
Use a modern artist for it.
So Great Balls of Fire, we know it's been advertised that Brock is going. Well then,
Okay,
going to get some oil on this chair. He's going to have his first title defense. He's the Universal Champion, won it off Goldberg at WrestleMania in about 4 minutes. He's been absent since WrestleMania, or maybe was it the Raw after?
I think he was on the Raw after, and then he pretty much disappeared.
Yeah.
And he's not been seen since. Yeah.
So
on his little vacay.
Brock Lesnar is separate to every other champion. He doesn't have to defend his title every 30 days. He's going to show up at Great Balls of Fire in July, I want to say.
Yeah, it is July, because they have obviously got Backlash Sunday, Extreme Rules, Money in the Bank, and then it's like that early beginning of July and into June, I think.
So near enough 3 months for a quarter of the
2 months. It's
quarter of the year. Really. Close enough. They won't have a world champion.
Oh yeah, you're right there. Yeah, it's been like
because April 2nd was WrestleMania.
They're doing what they did last time when he won the world title. He defended it like once, and then for a few months, and he was off. And
it's completely baffling to me. So
like boxer or Mayflake.
Yeah, so he may as well just be back in UFC. But we know what happened last time that happened. So we found out on Raw that there's going to be a first ever fatal 5-way Extreme Rules match. At Extreme Rules to determine the number one contender for the Universal title, and more importantly, who's going to face Brock. That's kind of what they made it about. Not so much the Universal title, it was who's going to face Brock.
Well, yeah. Well, obviously it's for. Well, I think everyone wants the Universal title. So,
yeah.
But Brock, the big thing is you've got to get through Brock, so to get to that title. So I think that's why the big focus is on him, because it's more than just. And beating Brock's always like at the moment is that big prestige thing.
Yeah, he's on that level where
like Goldberg's like the only person that's. Actually, the Taker.
Yes,
but
Taker did beat him.
Unless you're a big seasoned veteran who's he's been around for like 30 years, you're gonna have trouble beating him.
Yeah, exactly. It's sort of his main opponents, like over the years from 2012, not his previous stint, but they've been like John Cena, massive name, Triple H, massive name. Even versus CM Punk, which at the time was a massive name. Now you're not allowed to say his name. The Undertaker, Goldberg.
Roman Reigns.
Who, he was still on his way up, but now he is practically top of the company. He started a little bit with Seth Rollins. He had his sort of one-off matches with, was it Bray and Luke Harper, or Bray and Eric Rowan at one point, at a network exclusive. He versus Kofi Kingston at another.
Yeah, he's been around.
Nothing made, nothing sort of, I don't want to say lower tier, because Finn Balor, Bray, Samoa Joe, they're not lower tier guys, but they're not quite as big as The Undertaker or John Cena quite yet. They're big.
I agree. They haven't got that same star power, and there's that kind of
size difference.
It's size difference. I think sometimes it's that believability of getting behind someone, saying, because you'll see him verse someone, and usually it'll be like this kind of, the chances of them winning is very low, so
it's like Punk versus him. No one believed Punk was going to win, that it just weren't going to happen, and it's I kind of feel the same about Finn, and I would about Daniel Bryan, because granted, I know there was talks of Daniel Bryan potentially versing him, Finn potentially versing him. I love them, but it's the way they built Brock, they should not beat him.
But
I
feel like that's where you get, with people like Balor, is where you can get that ultimate kind of underdog kind of story, and the way, and then working out ways to get around it. Maybe Lesnar's weakened from something else, or there's something they can exploit. I mean, you could
steps.
Look at the way. I think a good way of looking at it is the way Balor faced Reigns on Raw. Very good match. Match of the night for Raw in terms of matches on Raw, and it was a very good contest, very good back and forth match. And the way that, and Balor, there were bits and pieces where Balor would focus on his ribs, or he double stomp the back, or kicks him in the ribs, and he'd try and work it that way. And it's obviously he didn't end up winning, because at the moment, Reigns has beat Taker, Reigns losing to someone, Reigns can lose to Strowman, because that was the, I think he was the big one they were trying to push behind, and obviously now he's been.
Yeah. So original plans look to be.
Yeah, it seemed like they were going to go for Strowman versus Lesnar. That seemed like a set. They were going to have the ambulance match between him and Roman at Extreme Rules, Braun and Roman Extreme Rules, and then have Strowman versus thing at Great Balls of Fire. Would have been awesome. Braun Strowman has been the funniest thing, almost enjoyable thing on Raw for me, in the past few months. Every time he's on screen, his presence. Just you're compelled. You're just into his
You just want to watch more of him. I remember first I wasn't too much into him. Started squashing everyone. I was like, okay, he can throw people around, but I wasn't quite sure of whether he could hang with the bigger names or hang in just longer matches in general, because of his size and stature. Typically, they throw people around any more than 5 minutes and they're knackered. But he's proven himself. He's gotten good. He's better on the mic now than he was. Better in the ring. Whether or not he's better in the ring, or he's just now able to show how good he is in the ring.
I think he's definitely improved when you compare it to how, because you can see him, some of his stuff. Obviously, he hasn't had as much chance to show it, but there are times when you've seen. I think it was in the Rumble match last year, and he had a conversation with Brock in there, and there were some things you could tell he was still maybe not quite there yet, but now you can see it in his ability and the way he's working. He's pulling off these these main event matches with Big Show, in these back matches. I've loved the matches with Reigns. The matches with Reigns have been great. The crowd has been so just into it, and it's just they've just gone straight for it and just delivered essentially.
Yeah.
And it's such a shame that he's gone. And I thought, because at first they were like, oh, he's out for 4 to 5 weeks. Okay, he can be back. And now it's he's out for 6 months.
Weren't expecting that kind of time frame.
And I was, and it kind of made me worried a bit, because honestly, Raw the past few weeks, I think, where it was kind of a bit on a, like, Braun seemed to be the most enjoyable thing for me, and everything else was kind of pretty good, but nothing like really
nothing
compelling.
spectacular.
But then, so I was like, this Raw's not gonna have, especially with last night. Last night I was like, this Raw's not gonna have Braun on it, and I was like, and then I watched it, and you know what, they delivered quite a good Raw because they minimized the segments, and they kept it very match heavy, and like all the matches I thought were good essentially. And obviously you had the smaller ones that, you know, easily throw away. I mean, the whole Alicia Fox Sasha Banks thing is they're just giving Sasha something to do before she can go for the title essentially.
Yeah.
And then obviously you've got the whole Titus brand Apollo thing, which I know you want to like try and develop him somewhat, but giving Apollo to Titus is I don't think it's really helping him in the long run.
It's the Titus brand. You've got to buy in to the Titus brand. I've bought in, and I'm just loving life right now.
You know, they obviously had the Miz Ambrose Intercontinental title match. Very good.
Perfect ending.
Great ending with the disqualification. Obviously it plays in. I thought they were going to go for like a no DQ match, but no, it's now disqualification changes the title.
Yeah, so Dean Ambrose can't get himself disqualified.
Which makes more sense for Miz to try and pull something like that rather than him doing no DQ, because he's not
It sort of reminds me, like, well, for the ending, for anyone who didn't watch it, kind of, you should watch it, but spoiler alert, of course. Maurice got the referee distracted. Miz goes for the low blow. Ambrose blocks it, holds his arm, sort of jumps over his arm, and is like just swearing at him. Kicks Miz in the nether region. Ref sees it, calls for the bell. So it now goes into this sort of, if he gets disqualified again, Miz gets the title. It reminds me of the sort of Christian Orton scenario from a few years back, where Christian was goading Orton into getting himself disqualified. Where he spat in his face, and then Orton was like, I'll have you now, and kicked him in the nether region and caused the DQ. And I was like, that is really smart way to work things. Like, I'm loving Miz at the moment. I think he's on the best.
Miz is in his prime. There's no doubt. Yeah. Like, he may have won the World Championship in 2011 or 2010.
11, I want to say, but
I think it was the end of that. I think it was the end of 2010, like the end. That's right.
It might have been.
That's right, because Mania 2011 was Miz and Cena.
Right.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it would have been way back then. And you know, then he's always been good promo wise. He's always been on point promo wise. But this time he's really like in the ring as well. He kind of steps it up and he really like delivers. And he's just been like, you know, in feuds you never thought would work. I mean, look at him in Ziggler's feud last year. Even when it first started, everyone was like, Ziggler and Miz.
Yeah.
And then they created this great feud with some great matches, and they've made this.
Yeah.
You know,
spectacular moments. Like with Miz, I've literally, and you have, watched him since day one, all the way through his career. And I've always liked Miz. I thought he was kind of different. He was cocky, arrogant. I thought he was the bad guy you loved to hate. You just wanted to see him get his ass kicked. And I think now, like, he's 5-time Intercontinental Champion, might be 6-time, couple of time Tag Team Champion, US Champion, Money in the Bank winner. He's won the Grand Slam, Triple Crown. He's been World Champion. And I think at the moment, his career has kind of been reinvigorated. And I do kind of want to mention, since Maurice has come back, he seems to have been reinvigorated.
Maurice has been a big part.
Behind the scenes, like, I bet it's literally Maurice is what drives Miz to be better. Like, you know, they're married in real life, and I think he's on top of his game for having his wife around. Just something as simple and cheesy as that. But I think that is a big factor going into it. I'm loving his work. Him and Ziggler was.
It's crazy because obviously. Like my liking of him has always like varied. So it was like first I was like, then when he was world champion, I kind of enjoyed his world title run, even though I didn't like his matches. I just enjoyed him. And then I plateaued on him. I didn't like him for a good few years, and whenever when he popped up, I was like, oh, it's Miz. And then, like I said, last year shot at things. So so they had a good match, and obviously they had the singles, like we've mentioned, Reigns and Balor, very good. I thought Wyatt and Rollins was good as well. First time ever Wyatt and Rollins singles match. Crowd didn't seem as invested as the rest of the night, because the crowd were pretty good last night. I think they were reacting well to a lot of things, apart from cruiserweight match where they were distracted and started chanting around and stuff. It's New Jersey, they're gonna do their own thing. It's
yeah, that happens
at the end of the day. But then I don't know, towards the end of the main event, it's I feel like they are trying with Rollins and Wyatt, but there's seems to be a struggle with the crowd to react to him, because a lot of his matches has been they really don't muster up a good. I don't think they muster up much of a reaction from the crowd, mainly particularly Rollins in particular.
Rollins, yeah.
His face. I think it's because the way he turned face has been really. It was really I'm a whiny kid. I didn't get what I want, so I'm now face. It's been, people have been struggling to get, even though they tried the whole, they did the whole injury comeback story, which I thought was kind of working, and at the moment it's people are still liking him, but there's during his matches there's something not.
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
And someone made a good point about this contenders match. They're like, why? Actually, no, it wasn't a good point. It was, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm gonna shift away from that.
Right.
So in terms of who I'd like,
bring it back round now.
To bring it back round to
Lesnar.
Managed to segue into what we needed to there. I really want to see Balor in there, just to give it a bit of. It'll be different. You give him a true underdog kind of guy and see how they work around with that.
There's a classic story: is David versus Goliath. It is literally Finn Balor. All the WWE universe who haven't watched NXT have seen is him arrive on Raw. He beat Roman Reigns. He got the #1 contenders match for the Universal title. He won the Universal title. Went away. Come back, and he's having mini matches. He needs that match to cement, I think, his future career and his legacy by giving him Brock Lesnar in this David versus Goliath scenario.
Even if he doesn't win, they could the way they could show, one, you could show he's not going down easy, easily done. Two, you can show him getting close. There's ways he's working things, there's ways he's doing things that are, because his agility and quickness help him loads, and he can hit hard when he needs to.
Oh yeah.
And he can, and it's something you could. I think it'd just be a really interesting dynamic. Now, do I think that's what they're going to go with? At the moment, I think, judging by, because I thought they were going to have Balor Reigns in the main event. That seemed like a logical explanation. The more popular main event. So I thought that's what they were going to have to end. But they didn't. They put Wyatt and Rollins, and then obviously Rollins gets beaten up by Joe for the disqualification, and then Wyatt, Sister Abigail's Joe, and Sister Abigail's Rollins. He's on top, and it seems like they're going to play towards that and use him for Great Balls of Fire. Now, whether that that might mean they're going to use this as a filler pay-per-view before SummerSlam and have that big match here.
Likely.
So I feel like that seems like they're not going to pull the trigger on Reigns yet. I don't feel like, because that seems like they want to build big. I've spoke to Rhys about this before, and I think a lot of people have had this regard, or there's even been speculation that because obviously Reigns beat Taker at Mania and Lesnar has beat Taker at Mania, it seems like they might stretch it out and not give it him till WrestleMania or something big like SummerSlam or Survivor Series or the Royal Rumble, or just SummerSlam could be a good fit for it, and maybe that's what they might end up going for. But Rollins.
I'm kind of drifting off Rollins a little. Like his match with Triple H, I didn't find was the payoff that I wanted.
I enjoyed his match more than a lot of people. There were some people who were like, it split a lot of people. There were people like, this is crap, and then there's people, and then there's me that was like, oh, that was quite good, but it was like, because I liked how they were working things, and obviously you can go on about the whole in-work thing, what you want in the selling, but I thought he did pretty well, considering, and it's like, it's. There's something just not there that's getting me invested in him. I feel like maybe he just really hasn't changed much, or like evolved.
Like his character is still kind of like the heel Seth Rollins, but now he's just aiming his hate at whoever he's going against. He
just says the same things and then says, "I'm Seth freaking Rollins." Like that's
it's not enough to hook me in. Like I love his wrestling ability, but his character is kind of getting stale for me. I love his old build up with the Authority, but it was just that payoff I wasn't too fond of. The match itself, it was a more methodical pace. It was more sort of, it was the Triple H match. It was the generic Triple H style match where he's the cerebral assassin, he's just going to break you down and what have you, and then it ended how it ended. And now Seth's going against Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe's like, it's personal because you done it again. You put Stephanie through a table and what have you, and it's like, but Joe, why is it personal? I don't get why Samoa Joe is so like, oh yes, Triple H, yes, like his character anyway.
I don't know. They try and that's someone we've kind of skipped over actually is Joe.
Yeah.
Joe versus Lesnar.
I'd buy it. I'd buy it. I'd book it. I'd wear it on my top.
It'd be a nice little big man match. They could use him, but I feel like they're still trying to maybe extend this feud with with Rollins. And another reason I feel like they won't give Rollins is because I don't think they're done with the whole Stephanie storyline.
No.
So like if she comes back, they might be like you never know, they might end up doing like him versus Triple H at SummerSlam again, or something along them lines, like build towards that or something. So that's why I feel like he's not getting that Lesnar shot. And I'm okay with that.
That could literally be it. Like Triple H never just loses. He'll come back. He'll have another match. I imagine.
You don't push Stephanie through a table, and get away with it at the end of the day.
Technically, Triple H done it. Triple H should be mad at himself.
Well,
the Authority always wins, as we've learnt in storylines of the past. The Authority always wins, and there's always a plan B, C, D, E, F, G. I'll keep going. H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, and I'll stop. We kind of jumped over two sort of topic scenarios there.
Well, yeah, I think the only thing maybe worth mentioning from Raw is the Goldust.
Oh, yeah, Goldust turning heel,
which I think is a nice. Which they could do something interesting with that, because this could be his chance to give him like one last kind of or one big, maybe not like a big run, but give him a good run as a singles heel competitor for that, because obviously he's getting, he's like 50 now.
He's got to be late 40s, I'd imagine. Like I don't know, but Goldust to me has always kind of been a very lower card talent, like from when I was watching it, but since his stuff with Cody, when they became the Brotherhood and they were doing all this stuff, I was like, I can't wait to watch Goldust each and every week.
He's always been really consistent, even back in his obviously WCW, from his when he first arrived in WWF, or WWE, sorry. He's just always been a very consistent wrestler, and he's been very solid, and that's kind of like he hasn't changed. Like he's just been similar to that, as long as you don't mention his running tune, right? Then it's And so I think this obviously Golden Truth. I kind of like what the segments they did when they were getting together, and I enjoyed their whole like dynamic, and I thought that was fun. And obviously, I think it didn't. Obviously, a year's gone by. It hasn't really gone far. They've been, and so this is a good chance to give someone like Goldust just as a nice little singles thing going on. He works well as a heel, and a nice little heel. I'm seeing him heel because he's been face, I think, for the past since he arrived back, I think, essentially. So it's this could be an interesting way for him to go about things.
Yeah.
And I think so that's interesting. And then I think the only thing then is the tag title match, or the tags title. We got the Cesaro.
Oh, the tag title situation. Hardys versus Cesaro and Sheamus. That'll be happening in Extreme Rules. But
I don't know what stipulation they're going to put a stipulation on.
Yeah,
they can't do it without the Hardys,
TLC, come on, just do it. Why not?
Tables, they want. I don't think they'll do that already again. But unless they do, they'd be like, hey, if you think you can win a ladder match, winning faces, give us the chance to shine in the ladder match.
That'd be very
might be a nice
ironic
idea there. They did mess up the ending with the Sheamus Jeff Hardy match, though, and if you noticed,
I must have glanced away at that point.
Well, at the end, Matt Hardy's on the apron, and Sheamus pushes Jeff into Matt, but he stops himself.
Right.
So Sheamus is about to go for a brogue kick, and Matt says, "Move." So Jeff moves, and the kick's meant to hit Matt, and it kind of doesn't hit Matt. So Matt and Sheamus is there to catch Matt, like when he falls off the apron, and he doesn't. So then Sheamus has to kick him again, so he falls down. And it was like quite a decent match, though.
It's live TV. That will happen.
Decent match. I quite enjoyed the match, but I think that's everything from Raw. Really, essentially covered.
Yeah.
Well, and there's small little mention of the Bailey's Bliss thing. Kane on a pole.
Yeah. This is.
It's all good. Given it makes sense because she used a cane. But Kane on a pole
is a very.
There's only one way a cane on a pole match goes, and that is you go for someone ends up going for the cane, and then uses that at the end, and usually then they win. And there's a formula to it, and it's hard to really
deviate from that.
Could be quite decent. But
the whole thing, like the segment in general, where Bailey's sort of backstage with Angle, and she's saying, I want my title back. I'm ready to go extreme, and then for going extreme to turn out to be a cane on a pole match is just like, that just doesn't work. I mean, there's so many other matches they could have done.
Maybe they'll change it. I
like
don't
first
doubt they will, but I mean, it is the first ever women's cane on a pole match. So they got that to go with.
That'll work.
I guess. But yeah, I think that's all done.
Yeah,
that's the main bulk of things.
We don't want to sort of bore you with each and every match, each and every segment. Just want to give you the highlights, or the high spots, if you will. Okay, so on the video it may just look like a cut has happened, and that's because the camera decided to stop recording automatically, and we talked for an extra half hour after it. So we're now kind of redoing the last half hour. Going to condense it down a little bit, make sure we stick it within the half hour time limit. So yeah, topic 2 is basically about the main event scene. The post-draft era then, post-superstar shake-up era, and how it sort of affected things in general. So SmackDown Live in particular for me, like Jinder Mahal at the moment, being boosted up to the main event scene against Randy Orton, which I just found completely crazy considering WrestleMania he was in the pre-show losing and was on the butt end of Rob Gronkowski's tackle.
Well, there's even, that when he came back and he was just... I don't think he hasn't won one match. No, that's right. He won the match to be on Raw because he beat Heath Slater.
Yeah, that's right.
To become on part of Raw. I think that's about as far as his winning streak went, and then he's just he's been off TV, probably on Main Event or Superstars. I don't really keep up with them. So, and then suddenly moved to SmackDown. Boom, get this big rise. It was it was a big surprise, But then watching that number one contenders match, I was looking at the people in there and thinking, oh, well, he's feuding with him. He's got this going on. And so it was like, I think it was either him or Luke Harper. It might have been, that seemed like the logical choices for it. And, I said logical choices, seemed like the possible choices for it. But when he actually went, I was like, okay.
Beep, beep. Yeah, keep talking. Okay. I'm gonna do stuff. This will happen.
Well, yeah. It's interesting, really, that he's they've kind of given this chance. But I've said it, but this is his chance to really prove himself. Though, they're giving him this opportunity, like they have done with past for people. They did it with Jack Swagger, and they did it with some other people. And they've just, it's given him that chance to really do something, have a go, and see if he can do it. And I think he's been doing well promo wise. I don't agree with the whole jumping on the race card again. It's a very overused gimmick for foreign wrestlers. So, but I think he's got potential we'll see how it goes, really, I guess. Whether the match is going to be good, who knows? A lot of I think that's been the main skepticism, is that he's been losing to people don't really like him much, and Orton can vary whether he's depending on his mood. So it's can he win it? Maybe. Do I think he will win? It's if he does, fair play to him, but I'd rather him, if they do give it him, then they need to give him somewhat of a lengthy reign and not give him a 1 month reign. I can't see it happening, though. I feel like Orton's still going to stick with it, and they'll give him someone else to come. I know they've got, I just remembered the whole thing with Rusev they got going on, because he's like, I want a title match at Money in the Bank.
Could be Rusev.
But then again, they might end up giving him, I don't know, one of the title matches. I could see Jinder winning to lose it at Money in the Bank or even SummerSlam. I'm hoping Orton sort of keeps it, because just a bit more lengthy a title reign, make sure it doesn't sort of belittle the title, I guess, or belittle the person holding the title to give it to them just to take it away. It's his first title defense, technically. On pay-per-view, because the House of Horrors
wasn't a title match, apparently,
because they kind of decided, hey, let's not do this, because I think they did it, one, to sway it so that Wyatt could win. That worked. And so they could have Jinder involved, and two, I think they really didn't care about it in the end, and it's you kind of get that clear. See, best not to dwell too much on that match. No. I think. But in terms of the shake-up, obviously he's had this chance. We've had Breezango that have had their chance, And
the fashion police.
And I think that's one thing what I've liked, even just in the draft in general. It's been such a help for a lot of people to really rejuvenate themselves. They did it with Miz. It's done it with. It gave Styles a chance to be a main event player.
Yeah.
It gave. It's created chances for people, and it's just, and I think the shake-up's been quite good in one, I think it's always a good, someone made a point, it's always a good time for it to be after Mania, because Mania is technically the end of the year for wrestling, end of the wrestling year.
It's the wrestling year.
So it makes sense to do it the night after, to change it up, or the week after, to really change it up and make it fresh for that year then.
Yeah.
Rather than wait a few months and still have maybe it stops some feuds from continuing on, or it kind of, if you want feuds to continue on from Mania. But at the same time, I feel like Mania is the best time to end feuds rather than carry on expanding.
Yeah.
I feel like it's better for feud enders rather than let's keep this going on for a few months. So I think if they keep doing it yearly, I think it'll be good for them, and it's definitely fresh. I think it's freshened up things on each side, because you've got new matchups, you've got new feuds going on, and it's and even like in NXT where you've got the new people and they've rebranded and they got a new theme song and
I really like where NXT is going. They've got a lot of, like, I thought after sort of like Balor and a couple of the others got moved up, I was like, oh, what's left now for NXT? But no, they're doing good. They've got a good set of talent. Cassius Ohno is my favourite there at the moment. The return in Drew McIntyre, the chosen one.
The first match back. Have you seen his first match back?
I haven't, no.
First only Lokin, and it went for 5 minutes, straight up just like sprint, great sprint.
Yeah.
Like, and that's exactly what I think what McIntyre is doing. He's giving us a chance to be himself and do bring this kind of what he's been doing over the indies onto this platform.
Yeah.
And then you've got all these other, you've got a lot of, like I said, you've got Aleister Black coming in, who guaranteed he's going to be a big name. I love his entrance. His theme music makes me want to jump about a lot all the time. I kind of just want to start just going like, getting into it, and like the way he just presents himself, he comes across as someone who could easily be a main eventer, and he feels different. He feels like fresh, and he's got a great look. He's a great wrestler. I was familiar with him when he was Tommy End. I did see some of his indie work, and like just the way they presented him, like I think he can go far. Like I said, he was on Main Event, the WWE main, as in the show Main Event last week in the UK against Kurt Hawkins, or the Kurt Hawkins Star Factory, crowd were really into him, and just so he's one of the guys to look out for. And then obviously you've got Hideo getting his shot for the title, and you've got the women. You've got Nikki Storm and Ruby Riott coming in. You've got really some great women coming up, because that's one thing they've kind of, the women's division has been like Asuka, and Ember Moon, to be fair to her as well, but it's like they've kind of, there's been no one there to really dethrone Asuka, but now they're slowly bringing in people. I know Io Shirai just got signed up, another Japanese woman, and there's going to be, with this women's wrestling tournament they're going to have as well. We're going to see a much more
well-rounded and in-depth women's division, because for a while it was, Asuka and then everyone else. And I'm finding that at the moment with the tag team division. You've got the Authors of Pain, you've got DIY. I don't even know the others. Like Heavy Machinery is one I've heard.
I feel like they could. Heavy Machinery, the way they come across, they have a good chance. If DIY don't win the titles in this ladder match on Saturday, which I have a feeling they may not, Heavy Machinery, I feel like are going to be the next people to come in, so they're going to have big lads versus big lads. Yeah, and that's going to be a riot. And they did, obviously they had TM5,
TM61,
TM61, and obviously the guy got injured, so they've been out, which is a shame, because I thought
they were doing pretty good.
Team. And so they've got a good talent going on, and I feel like this. I really liked. I'm kind of liking what I've done with the shake-up. I'm enjoying things. I think 205 Live suffering a little bit. Like it's still not like it's kind of. And I even needs to reassess its formula, which it probably needs to do, because it's just something that I'm not getting invested in as much these days, and. I will miss shows, and I'm like, do I feel up to it? Even though, nothing against the talent. Talent is great. I love Tozawa. I love,
Jack Gallagher, TJ Perkins, Neville, Kendrick.
They have a great thing of talent, but it's just
it's how they're being presented.
Investment, and I feel like they're trying with it, but the crowd aren't getting behind it, which is hurting matches somewhat as well. And it's just. And it's not feeling different enough from from everything else, and it needs to try and when you think cruiserweights, you think high flying, fast paced action. Get some make it short and snappy. The best times some of the best times of 205 Live has been the multi-man matches, which has been full on back and forth straight into the fray of things, and then the single matches have been good, but they've suffered because they'll have like 15-minute main events that are like the crowd are invested in, and it kind of suffers for it. But
with 205 Live, it's just in a lull phase at the moment for me, because like I watched the first one, like I was going good for like week in, week out. I'd be like, right, SmackDown's over, let's jump over to the network, watch 205 Live. But now I'm just more sort of, do I need to? Like, I know who's wrestling. I've watched them wrestle before. And then I'm like, but do I want to put myself through these segments? Like, they've getting very sort of segment-based, like Raw, where it's like these weird and wonderful, like Jack Gallagher's Tea Party or wherever it was. And, like, they've entertaining, don't get me wrong, but I just felt the marketing or the way 205 Live was originally being presented, it was going to be the wrestling show, not the sort of long drawn out promo show, which it kind of is becoming a little. At the moment in general, there's a lot of wrestling content. You've got Raw 3 hours, SmackDown 2 hours, NXT 1 hour, 205 Live 1 hour, plus the pay-per-views, which are now every 2 to 3 weeks. Like, there's a lot of content going on, and it's great from a fan's perspective. But it can lead to a bit of fatigue. Like, you want to watch everything, but you just can't do it. There's not enough time in the week to get through everything, on top of, like, well, if you want a game, if you want to watch a film or two, if you want to watch TV, you know, it's very all-encompassing.
Even then, you kind of feel like you want it may be just a chance, because at the moment I've been in a big wrestling mind of things, but, I'm like, I want to watch. I got this. I want to watch instead, or this, and even I can't, like, all these like other non-wrestling network shows on the WWE network. Just like, I never end up watching because I'm just like, I've got other stuff I want to do, or even if something sounds intriguing, I'm just like, I'm like, I'd rather just stick to the main things and just. But it's great. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan, because we've got all this like content in front of us, and even branching out with the independent stuff. Your Flow Slam, and you've that to bring everything together, and other streaming platforms, and people have got their own streaming platforms, and you've got the Real Hero archive for Japanese wrestling, and it's just
it's getting more.
And it's
seen, like wrestling in general is just getting more seen. Like, from a wrestling fan perspective, it's great because you can watch wherever you want. From a wrestler's perspective, it's great. It's never been more easy to get into the WWE than it is at the moment. It's not easy, like, guaranteed it's still not easy, but think about it, there's more of a system now that you can go through, rather than just maybe being talent hunted and like here and there. There's more of a sort of structural system. There are ways you can go through, ways to get seen, and I just think the wrestling industry at the moment is just on such a high. I've never seen it so good.
You've got ITV, producing
didn't watch
a weekly wrestling show. Well, the special was actually quite entertaining. It's very simple, basically.
Yeah.
And now they've got they announced they're going to have the weekly series.
Yeah.
Which was meant, it's been delayed, but it was meant to come in October. It might not come till next year now, because they had to delay the tapings. But,
right.
Even now, there's just like everything's just coming through, and there's something for everyone essentially. And even, people could complain about how modern wrestling is now, but people have always complained about how wrestling is. Contemporary people who complain about Flair and Steamboat back in the day.
Yeah.
It's like and at the end of the day, you can like whatever. Wrestling doesn't have to be anything. It can be anything you want it to be. It can be fun. It can be serious. It can be technical. It can be high flying, ridiculous.
Hardcore, man.
Hardcore. Enjoy what you like, and just like you've had that whole Twitter thing that's been going on with Orton and Rip Rogers, and all I can say is just enjoy wherever you want. 2K is what other people think. Their people think what they want to think,
Yep.
you know. And, you know, listen to them. Some people do have interest and perspective on things and look at things in a different way. You don't have to agree with it, but you don't have to. But no one's right. It's all subject. At the end of the day, it's all a subjective thing. Wrestling's a weird thing, essentially.
And hopefully we're back for good until the end. So yeah, basically, if you've just seen another cut, another hitch happened, the battery went this time. Oh joy! So we're gonna move now straight on into a little segment that we like to call the Hart Attic. Take it away, Eric.
Yes, hello and welcome to the Hart Attic. As you know, we seem to. Our main foray is usually within the WWE, so I like to take things out and look at things outside of that, but specifically Japanese wrestling, and provide maybe match recommendations or give a rundown of maybe things that have been going on in the Japanese wrestling world. Only bit of news I really want to cover is New Japan recently, over the weekend, announced that they will be creating a US title, which they'll be bringing to which will be crowned during the G1 Climax shows they're doing the G1 shows they're doing in Los Angeles, which is over 2 days. They're having a little tournament over that, which will include Ring of Honor guys as well as the New Japan guys fighting out for the US belt. So New Japan branching out now, getting and apparently it's going to lead to them having their own little US territory and like a dojo and other things like that. So, you know, really trying to get out globally now, especially with the New Japan World. Apparently they've got a redesigned website, or the redesigned New Japan World website is being debuted tomorrow. Wednesday. It'll be there by the time this airs. But they got a new layout. So we'll see how that goes. So in terms of recommendations, last week, so the only recent one last week Dragon Gate had the Dead or Alive big pay-per-view show headlined by the big multi-man cage match they have, which is always like ridiculous and fun. But there's one specific match from there that I'd recommend, and that is Jimmy Kagetora versus Takahiro Yamamura for the Open the Brave Gate belt. It's a great little contest, great finishing stretch. You know, Yamamura is this young guy, only about, I think he's like 21, up and come out, had a good go at it, and really got quite far, and it's just a really great match essentially. And I think that's all I have in terms of recommendations. Obviously there's some interesting things coming up. You got the Best of the Super Juniors, which are probably going to be in progress at this time when the podcast is going, so I'll have more. There's some great matches, potential matches to come from that, and I think, and as usual, if you want to check out anything, any Japanese wrestling, be sure to check out the Real Hero Archive, which I recommend. If you Google it, you probably find it. You could go on Twitter, it's there. It's a Google Drive. They upload the latest Japanese wrestling that isn't available anywhere else, apart from it being aired on Japanese TV, of course. So, or even archive stuff, that's where I've been watching stuff like Hustle and old stuff, and just like keeping up with things like that. So, I think that's it. That's all I've got to recommend from the Hart Attic. So we may go back down the stairs of glory.
Okay, so moving on to our final topic now, and this is going to be about NXT Takeover Chicago and Backlash, primarily predictions. What will be happening is throughout the wrestling year, we're going to predict on all the different pay-per-views, NXT and WWE alike, and whoever gets the most right by the end of the year being WrestleMania, so that's included in this bracket. So it'll be from NXT Takeover Chicago to WrestleMania. Whoever gets the most right will get something out of it. We've yet to decide what exactly they get in, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see who's on the money and who's dead wrong. So, first up, Chicago, taking place this Saturday, or it would have been last Saturday if you're watching this. Well, no, you will be watching it on.
So yeah,
this will be going
the
up
events
late.
will probably already begun, but we're still doing the predictions to keep up with things and so,
get things rolling. So NXT Takeover Chicago, got the UK Championship, the United Kingdom Championship is on the line at an NXT pay-per-view. You've got Tyler Bate versus the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne. This is awesome, and it's being commentated by Jim Ross himself.
Is he commentating that match?
Jim Ross has been announced as the commentator.
I know he's doing the obviously he's commentating on the UK special as before, which managed to scare him from, which is funny really, because they've probably done that in spite of the whole ITV World of Sport thing. So so who's gonna win that?
It's an easy one for me. It's the Bruiserweight. Pete Dunne is winning. Like Tyler Bate, he's had a decent run with it. Maybe not loads of televised matches, but he's had quite a lot of defences,
We've had a couple
televised or
NXT,
not.
So.
Yeah, I think it's time for Pete Dunne now to take the ball and run with it.
Maybe, yeah. I think they could give him that unless they've got something else planned for him. But you know what? I'll go with Dunne. I'll see.
Yeah, I thought that was I think it's a no-brainer, but you never know with WWE.
I don't know, really. It's
anything can happen. You got the NXT Tag Team titles on the line in a ladder match when the Authors of Pain look to defend against DIY, and I'm unsure who I want to win and who I think's gonna win. I think I like DIY, but I don't know if I want them to win because I maybe want to see them on the main roster as soon as possible. I'm
agree with that. Yeah.
I'm thinking Authors of Pain are going to win, despite that it's a ladder match. So it's going to be ladder match. It won't work for the big men, but I think it will.
Yeah,
they'll use the ladders to beat them down.
They're trying to, do that whole the big old people and might not do so well. But I think the Authors of Pain are still going to do it, and so they can still have keep their lengthy run with the belts. At the moment. So. And then I agree. I kind of want DIY to go and branch out now and see how that goes.
So
I'd say Authors of Pain.
Authors of Pain as well. Next is the NXT Women's Championship that should have been a fatal four-way, but due to an injury, Ember Moon has had to pull out. So it's now a triple threat match between Asuka, the champion, of course, against Ruby Riott and Nikki Cross. And I'm guessing I've got a dog whimpering out there, but there's someone out there with him, so I don't know why. I'm guessing Asuka's gonna win because I'm guessing Ember is the one to take it off her eventually.
Maybe, yeah. I think I'd be happy to see. I think Nikki and Ruby definitely not. Ruby needs more time to build her up. I think Nikki kind of does as well, even though I'd be happy to see them win it because they're both great talents.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
But yeah, Asuka, she's on the roll at the moment. She's got an undefeated streak that has surpassed Goldberg. So that's crazy. And yeah, I think it's still not the right time for her to lose it. I think it's still she's at that untouchable mode, and you need something special for her to think. I think NXT Takeover before SummerSlam seems like the best bet for her to lose it. So I'm saying Asuka will win for sure.
And then finally, as of now, the only other match announced, the NXT title, Bobby Roode versus Hideo Itami, and I cannot wait because Hideo, of course, does the GTS. They go to Chicago, and I think he even tweeted something about Chicago is the perfect place for me to hit my GTS. I thought that was that was just cool. I don't know whether it was meant as a dig or not. I don't know.
No, I think
but
it's trying to.
Yeah, there's something there. It's playing on it.
But, Rude's winning it.
Yeah, Rude's winning. I agree on that.
See, I read for some reason I don't know whether this was true or not. But I read that there was someone posted an article about Hideo going back to Noah in June, and I've only saw it the once, and I can't. No one else has mentioned it, and I'm like, I feel like someone.
You never know.
Was a thing, so I don't know. But I feel like, why would you give him a big title match if he's going to leave? So
unless it's like, oh,
and
stuff has
like
happened.
A speculative thing. So
yeah, it could very well be. It might be a case of like, oh, you got injured, so we'll give you this.
I can't see him. Rude's going to have quite a. I'd say I don't know if he have a lengthy title. I feel like he might have a reign to like Brooklyn, wherever. Is it Brooklyn they're in this time again? Or was it
SummerSlam? No, I think it might be Brooklyn again, but don't quote me on that one.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Might be Brooklyn 3.
No,
I'm not sure.
I'm sure it's in the Barclays Center. No, it's not SummerSlam. I can't remember.
Who knows?
But either way, I'm just thinking of because of SummerSlam 2 years ago. So, but yeah, so yeah, I think Rude's gonna win it. That's a definitive thing.
Okay, so well, we might be all right or all wrong. Never know.
We'll see.
So moving on to Backlash then, the day later, and I really do like the weekend. It's like a full weekend sort of thing. You have NXT and then you have the WWE pay-per-view.
If you're an
the sort of
fan,
night after.
you get the Evolves as well.
Yeah, true. So Backlash, I think there's 5 matches at the moment as of right now. Of course, the big one that everyone's talking about that I just can't wait to see is Dolph Ziggler versus Shinsuke Nakamura. I smile, think about it. I cannot wait to see what they pull off because Dolph Ziggler is phenomenal. Like, he's not getting much traction with the crowd at the moment. He was, but people just, they like him, then they just can't be asked for him. And then
I haven't cared much for him for the past since the Miz Ziggler feud. I've kind of just like
it's fizzled.
Been of a slump, and I've just been like, I'm not, it's like, he's been making some weird promos because he did the one with Nakamura a couple of weeks back, where he compared him to Michael Jackson, but it was in such a strange way that I was like, I didn't catch on for it for ages until I was like, he's on about Michael Jackson right now. And I'm just like, this is going on way too long. But yeah, Nakamura debuts on the main roster technically, even though obviously he's done house shows, but this is his
first match, televised WWE match for SmackDown Live. It's on pay-per-view. I think it's a really good way to bring him up to the main roster instead of having him just sort of debut and have a match on SmackDown. I'm fully expecting Nakamura over.
Well, Nakamura's winning, there's no doubt about it.
If he doesn't, I will be shocked. I won't hate it, but I'll be shocked.
Yeah, unless they want to unless their plan is to continue the feud on. And
yeah,
I feel like Nakamura probably just win it so they can give him the showcase. It's going to be quite like a showcase match, I'd say.
But
yeah, I'd say
definitely
Nakamura to go over.
Moving on then to the women's division, they're not having a title defense. It'll be a 6-woman tag team match. It'll be the Welcoming Committee, Tamina, Natalia, and Carmella with James Ellsworth at ringside against the Powerpuff Girls, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and Naomi. Face victory, I see. Charlotte, Becky, and Naomi, I can
that's a tough one.
see going over.
I'm going to go with the Welcoming Committee.
Yeah?
I think they're going to do something devious and get the win.
Ellsworth's at ringside.
Momentum rather than... because if they lose now, then that means I feel like it's over if they lose.
Yeah, I get you.
I feel like they might want to give it a bit of traction with it, but you never know. They
might
just fall apart completely. They might fall apart in one match.
Yeah, the faces could fall apart. They could be
that's
misunderstanding.
The other thing as well.
And
so it's it's kind of it'd be interesting to see, really. But I think the Welcome Committee are going to get that one.
Yeah. Okay. The United States Championship. Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles. If Dolph Ziggler and Shinsuke weren't on the card, the match for me is Owens and Styles. Like, literally.
To be honest, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they do end up putting that last on the pay-per-view. Because the way they've been booking SmackDown, they seem to be focusing more on... They've put more focus on our US belt than they have the World Title belt.
Yeah, definitely.
And I feel like that could factor into... They may not do it, but I feel like there's a chance there they might end up doing it.
I'm going to say Owens over.
I say Owens over. I don't think Styles will win the belt.
Styles is going after the world title very soon, I reckon.
Oh, I think so. I think so.
Imagine Orton, Styles mixing it up. That's going to be great for everyone involved. Sure. So the tag team championship match. My favourite tag team at the moment. Breezango going for the tag gold against my second current favourites, the Usos. I think the Usos are on the best sort of role at the moment.
Are exactly where they should be, doing what they should be.
Yeah, doing what they should be doing. Their promos, like, I love their promos. Like, this whole sort of, no, it's not paranoia, it's the Usos. And I'm just like, that's so good. And they're like,
they're another one that benefited from this draft, being able to turn heel and become the top heel team of the SmackDown, essentially.
Yeah.
So it's worked well for them. I feel like I think Usos going to win. I don't think they'll Breezango get the titles. But, should be a good match either way. But I think Usos. Yeah.
I'm going to agree with that. Usos are going over. I think Breezango is good for Breezango to get this push. I think the Usos over. They may have another title match down the line, but I wouldn't put it past WWE to sort of have this and then Usos move on back to American Alpha or something like that down the line. The final match currently announced, the fifth match for the world title, is Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal. And Jinder Mahal will have his cronies at ringside, the Singh brothers, more than likely. And I'm just going to say right out the bat, Jinder Mahal is winning.
I don't think they're going to pull the trigger. So I'm just going to stay with Orton. I feel like it's not. But I feel like they need to give Orton a bit more of a lengthier time with the belt after working with Wyatt having such a short amount of time. But not even that. Even Cena and his short time with the belt. Because Cena had it, lost it in shame. Everyone's pretty much lost it every pay-per-view it's been defended at the moment, I think.
Each month, yeah.
So it's like, give it a bit more thing. So, yeah, I'm sticking with Orton to win on that one, I think.
Right. So
is that
a bit more diverse there.
Is that all the
that's all at the moment. It's just 5 matches
announced.
announced.
Corbin, Zayn as well.
Yeah, Corbin, Zayn will get chucked in. A couple of others.
Probably just Corbin, Zayn. I don't think of anything else.
Yeah, potentially. So that's that topic done, and now we move it into the end, where we just give you all the spiel. Thank you for joining us. If you like what you see, like what you hear, give us a little thumbs up down below. That would really help sort of get us going, get the ball rolling, get the CONQUEST train running along the tracks. And if you want to hit the subscribe button, which might be over there, might be up there, depending where you are. Different platforms will have it placed different places. So yeah, you can do that. You can subscribe if you want some more CONQUEST content being delivered straight to you through YouTube. We will have our gaming podcast, Game Chat, going live on Saturday the 27th. So you can keep an eye out for that if you're into gaming. If you're into everything entertainment, so that's not just gaming, it'll be film, TV, maybe we'll touch on politics, who knows? I'm not political, so I just stay out of it. We'll have Conquest Topical, which would have aired a couple of days prior to this video, so you can check that out on the YouTube channel. You can join the Conquest in many different ways. You can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/join the Conquest, and that would be really appreciated. You'll get our undying love and gratitude for that. There's loads of different tiers and different perks you can get. You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/conquestcg. You can follow us on Twitter at run_conquest, and then all the other different channels and pages will be linked down below. So yeah, you can find all our other channels in that description. And I'm just sort of repeating myself now because, first time hosting this, I'm just kind of getting the run into it, trying to figure out what works, what doesn't. So any comments, any feedback would be greatly appreciated as well. And there goes the top of that. So yeah, this has been No Flips, Just Mics, episode 1. I've been Conquest Jester, hoorah. He has been Blazing Hart / Eric Hart.
We are monster, we are monster, we are monster, do the hustle.
That works. And for coming along, you have been awesome. So all that's left to do is to ring that bell.